often something as simple as just going out after therapy and sitting in your car, and whether it's just breathing and being with whatever came up for 5 or 10 minutes before you go and re-enter your world can be very helpful.
Welcome back to another episode of Cover Your Assets. Today we're joined by Sarah Frontiera, a licensed marriage and family therapist. And today we're going to be tackling the topic of divorce as a healing process or a journey of self-discovery. So welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Before we get started, I'll kind of read a little bit of a bio of you for the listener so they can learn a little bit more about you and your background. So Sarah is a licensed marriage and family therapist, as I mentioned. She has a passion for helping individuals and couples navigate the complex world of relationships, emotions, and personal growth. Sarah's therapeutical approach is based on both psychodynamic and attachment theories. She believes that our past experiences, early relationships, and family dynamics shapes who we are today and really influences how we navigate our current relationships and issues. So whether you're facing relationship issues, anxiety, depression, life transitions, or a range of other challenges, Sarah supports her clients on their journey towards healing and growth by providing them with the tools, insights, and skills necessary to address life's challenges and cultivate a really more fulfilling and meaningful existence there. So it's kind of good to maybe have a more positive sort of...
I'm so excited for this episode because we have been tackling very important but terribly heavy topics as it relates to divorce. But we also got to talk about that light at the end of the tunnel. How can we find joy during this process? Like, help us.
Yeah. I have to say, I was relieved when this topic was presented to me because I'm definitely more of an optimistic, positive person. So, divorce has a lot of negativity and hardship around it. But yeah, my personality and slant is just kind of more the positive. So I was like, yeah, I can talk about this side of it.
It's like, let other people focus on that.
Yes,
maybe.
exactly.
So do you mainly work with individuals? Do you work with couples? Both?
I work with both, primarily individuals. I work in private practice. So in my private practice, I've probably got 70 to 75% of my clients are individual adults. And then 20 to 25 or 30 to 25% are like couples. And then I work with some kids, but not as many. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So how do you help these individuals find, positive spin, I guess, during what might be one of the hardest things that they're going through in their life? Like, let's say if they've come to you, they're like, I'm going through with this divorce and my world's spinning and it's going upside down.
Yeah. And I think part of it is, it's a process, right? Therapy is a process. Life is a process. So it's not this, like, they're going to come in and 2 sessions in, we're going to be like, this is awesome. Your life is so much better.
Here's the solution.
Exactly.
Yes.
Do you think people do sometimes come into therapy thinking that it could be this really quick turnaround?
Like, fix me, Sarah.
Yes,
yeah.
Definitely.
What pill or series of pills do I take? And
I have definitely experienced that with clients, and it's kind of 50-50 on whether they buy into the process and see what's there and that it's going to take a lot of hard work. It's going to take time, but that's worth it to get them to where they want to go. Or they're kind of like, wait, I thought it was going to come for a month and then be fixed, so I'm out.
I wonder if it's along some of those personality types and traits of people. Like you've got
The
that
red
red
personality.
where it's like, well, I'll do a six week package and we'll get it all done in that time. And yeah.
Which I will say, I do have a handful of clients that come in that way. They come in and they kind of say like, okay, I'm here for 3 months, or like, I'm here for 6 weeks. And I'm like, yeah, okay, it's going to take a little longer than that. And I don't necessarily say that. Sometimes I say that directly, sometimes I don't. But usually by the time they hit that point, they see that they have made some progress, or they have a better understanding of who they are, but there's so much more that they can accomplish. And so at that point, they're bought into the process, that now they're committed and they're coming and kind of sticking it out for the long haul.
So what types of things do you talk to your clients about? Like things that they can, they're going to therapy with you, but obviously there's hard work, like you said. So there's hard work being done at home. What are some of those things that people could be doing to get themselves to a better place?
I feel like one of the biggest things that I find, and I think you probably read that in my bio, is this idea of looking at your past. That people often want to focus on what's happening right now in the immediacy. And sometimes that's necessary. You know, you need some coping skills, you need some tools, you need some things to kind of help you manage right now. But the bigger thing that will lead to more sustained change is going to be looking at your past. So your family history, your past relationship dynamics, things like that, where you're getting a better understanding of really who you are and how you got to where you're at, so that you can understand what areas you might need to work on or change. So that's a lot of the stuff I really like to go after is, let's talk about your family history. Let's talk about your past relationships. Let's look at kind of the broader picture and see, what are the relationship dynamics that you keep repeating, or what are the patterns that are showing up in your life, and how are those helping you or hurting you? And then let's start to change and tackle those things. So really looking at it from a deeper level and kind of this causal place than just what's happening right now on the surface.
So is that a view, though, by kind of focusing on those or addressing those, that's going to help them out, though, with that phase that they're going through the divorce, or more about setting them up to maybe not repeat some of those same mistakes for the rest of their life?
It's going to be both, right? Because in the divorce, you're still in this relational process with your ex. And so understanding more of, okay, maybe our history with each other, but also my relationship history with, let's say, my mom or my dad or my sister or my cousin or my best friend or whatever it was that led me to see the world a certain way or interact with people a certain way. And now I'm replicating that with this person, and maybe in an unhelpful way. And so as we go through this possibly contentious divorce process, can I approach even that with a different relational pattern? And then, yes, obviously then helping them with future relationships too.
I guess you might have challenges when someone comes into that initial session, though, because they're probably just wanting to focus on right now, though.
Yes.
How do I get through this moment?
No, you need to help me. You need to help me with this stuff.
Right. Which I will say, for the first, let's say month, it often is that, right? Is because people just come in, they need to tell their story. They're getting everything off their chest. They're talking about the immediacy of what's going on or the drama of that past week. And so it is primarily focusing on that. But then I find these ways to pull those other areas in. Again, that's over time. Therapy is a process.
Hence why probably that person coming in saying, I'm just wanting it done in 2 weeks or 2 months. Like,
yes.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, that's, I wish I could do that. Sometimes I tell people that, like, I really wish I could do that for you. Like, I really wish that solution existed out there, and it just doesn't.
I think maybe there could be this view, though, by people coming in go that, like, you're just trying to, like, milk this as long as possible, though, which I don't think is the case. It's just more of that process that it needs to take a while to kind of draw all that out, so you can learn more about maybe what they're saying and try and maybe work out where the origin of that is and what's causing that.
And I will say, I've never had anybody experience that they've shared with me before. Okay. So I think, like you're saying, that's not really the felt experience in the room when it's happening. But yes, I can see how maybe that might be a barrier to somebody even coming to therapy when they hear, like, oh, you want to dig into my past? Like, that's not what I need. I don't need this long drawn out process. But that's, it doesn't really end up being how it plays out.
I was going to say, so let's say stuff gets hashed up from their past. That's extremely painful, even if it's not from their, from their ex, maybe it's some other relationship. And how do you help clients appreciate, I don't know, bringing that up and working through it? Because maybe they were hoping they'd never have to think about it again or talk about it again. And now they have to go through this pain all over again and experience it again with you. And maybe they don't see what's the point of this? I hate this.
Right. And so it really is, I think there's this idea that the only way past it is through it. Right. And so it's helping them understand that and see that. And typically you can help them see that by showing them all the ways they've tried to go around a problem or around an awareness of themselves or around understanding of a situation. And it hasn't worked because that's just been this avoidance, this denial, this kind of moving away from it in the wrong direction. You're trying to get from point A to point B, right? Where I'm at now to somewhere better than where I'm at now. But sometimes to get there, we have to go through that hard stuff, right? And so sometimes it's even just phrasing it that way and helping them see, like, our goal is to get to the other side, which is this place of more fulfillment, happiness, kind of security, all of those things, right? But if we keep trying to circumnavigate the actual issues, we're never going to get there. And so the only way past it is through it. And sometimes they just need somebody to help them through it, which is really ultimately what I ended up being there to do.
So I know, like, when you're in therapy, of course, lots of difficult things come up, and that's great, but you only have 45 minutes at a time. So, you know, they're this pile of tears, I guess, on your couch, and it's time for them to go. What do you recommend they do once they get home, right? Until their next session with you. Like, what are they supposed to do with themselves until your next session?
Yeah. And that's hard because that's a pretty loaded question. It would depend on the client, right? Which I will say sometimes people need to go to therapy more than once a week, which kind of blows people's minds sometimes. But I've had clients who I see twice a week, or I've had clients I do a double session with. So I'll end up seeing them for an hour and a half because, to your point, there's just so much. And that's not necessarily something that's going to continue for years or months on end. But sometimes just even for a season, you need that. It could be something a bit more intense. Yeah, you need that extra support. And like you said, I get to something in 45 minutes and then I go home and like, what am I supposed to do with this? And so often something as simple as just going out after therapy and sitting in your car, and whether it's just breathing and being with whatever came up for 5 or 10 minutes before you go and re-enter your world can be very helpful. Or if you're, I have a lot of clients that will journal between sessions. So these are all the things that are coming up, or that I feel like they're too hard for me to hold, or I want to make sure I talk about. And so now they have this place to kind of get it out of their mind, hold it somewhere else where it's not ending up kind of preoccupying every second of every day in between session. And then they, most of them journal on their phone. So they pull out their phone in session, and then it's, I wanted to talk about this, or this came up, or let's make sure we go there.
So for those of us older folks, journaling on your phone, like, do you know if people use specific apps, or if it's just something built in?
Notes, maybe. Or
it's just the Notes app. It's just the Notes app. I'm sure there are wonderful apps out there that are journaling specific that would help you with a lot of different things. But yeah, just your Notes app.
Okay. And then what other things do you suggest people do outside of therapy to just give them that, I don't know, moment of joy or peace to help them along?
Or to help that divorce process not be as traumatic. Yeah.
So this isn't always, I would say, possible or as easy for everybody, but the biggest thing is support system, right? Is that your therapist becomes a part of your support system, but they're only a part. Like you said, you're going to see them maybe 45 minutes once a week, which just isn't really enough contact, right? And so is there one other person in your life, a friend, a family member, somebody who you feel comfortable and confident going to, that whether you're just having a moment and you're just needing to tell somebody like, I'm not doing okay. Even that, the other person's not going to have a magic pill either, just like I'm not going to have a magic pill. But that release and that externalization is so powerful, that having somebody that you can say, I'm not okay, or I just need somebody to give me a hug, or I just need somebody to remind me that I'm a good person. That little bit of encouragement can go a long way.
Now, talking about that support system that is not a professional support system like a therapist.
Right.
Is it a good idea to just be direct and tell that person what you need? Like those examples you gave, it's like, I just need you to tell me I'm okay.
Yes. It is so helpful for the other person if you are direct with them.
Are you talking about the other spouse that you're kind of divorcing through?
No, like my BFF or my mom or my cousin. Because I think a lot of us, especially as women, I'll speak for myself, we hope that our BFF can read our minds. It's like, hey, I'm okay. Yes. And then you wait for them to ask like, well, how are you doing? Instead you could just be like, I really need just a hug right now.
Yes, exactly. And that's the reality, right? Is nobody's a mind reader. We all wish that we were mind readers, and we all wish the other person was a mind reader, and they're not. And there's no way for somebody else to know what it is you need unless you say it out loud. And so, yes, being direct is the best way to do that.
And even if you don't know what you need.
Right. Even just saying that, I'm not okay. and I don't know what I need. And even that is going to feel helpful and feel like a relief to you.
But like, is there like, for people who maybe feel like they don't have anyone though, like, is there like mutual support groups of people who have gone through that process beforehand that maybe are more at a community level that are, you know,
In terms of divorce specifically?
yeah, well,
Or
yeah,
even
why not?
divorce, during divorce, or even after.
I do know, I don't know what the organization is called, and I wish I did, but I know there are like divorce care groups. Some of them are through local churches, some of them are through other organizations, but yes, I think those groups exist, where you can go find support of, like you said, almost like an AA experience, right? Is like other people going through the same experience as me that are just there to support each other.
I think sometimes people just think that their situation is very unique, and there's going to be aspects of it that do make it unique, but there's also going to be those different stages that they're going through and those emotions that other people have gone through, and you might be going through a thing in your own mind of like, am I ever going to be able to get through this, and cannot see, and maybe the therapist that you're even seeing can't make you see it yet, that you're going to get through it. Sometimes hearing it from a different voice or a different angle or a different perspective can shine that light that you can get through it.
Yeah.
So for clients of yours that are going through this process or just went through it, but they're still kind of transitioning, how have you helped them help their kids kind of be more positive when they're not feeling that positive?
Yeah, I feel like kids are always a hard one. The biggest thing that I say in an age appropriate way is to be direct and honest with them too, right? That it's not helpful to just pretend everything's okay and it's all going to be okay. That, again, in the same way that I'm kind of advocating that clients should go through the hard stuff to get to this place where they are okay, it's kind of helping your kids do the same thing too, right? Giving them a space to say, I'm not okay, or I'm upset about this, or I'm scared about this, or I don't like that this is changing. And that, again, it feels a little backwards, but that actually ends up getting them to a place of more positivity and relief. Because now they're not holding on to this thing that starts to kind of fester inside of them and grow. They release it, and then they're able to move through it and get to a place where, they can see and hold all the other sides of this. That, maybe mom and dad aren't going to be together, but there's things about this that are actually better for all of us.
Yeah, you don't want the kids bottling it up there because...
Right.
Any, last quick tips or tricks, and I know nothing's quick with therapy, but any little things,
anything that we can achieve in 1 minute.
In 1 minute, any little things that people can practice in between their therapy sessions just to kind of help them along, besides journaling and sitting in their car. I think those are great because I don't know, I probably wouldn't have thought of those, but any other little things that people can do, when they're not with someone like you.
Again, I think that self-care is kind of a buzzword, and like I have my own feelings about that, but I think if you reflect on what is self-care for you, right, that is going to look different for everybody. And I think sometimes we go to this place of, oh my gosh, that's going to be like getting a massage or taking a whole day off work, or this thing that's like really not possible or sustainable for a lot of people. But what's that one thing that I can listen to this song that I really like?
I like that.
Something like that, where it's like, oh, that's so easy for me to just do in a second, and that costs me no money and just like 3 minutes of my time that is really going to shift my mood. So thinking of self-care in almost those smaller little ways where it's more accessible kind of at any moment can be very helpful.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It doesn't have to cost money now, does it? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Thinking of that one song on Spotify that changes your mood right away for the better, because there's those bad ones too.
Yeah.
But the sad one. No, but we'll keep it happy.
Yeah.
The ones that you're eating, over a bucket of ice cream.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. I think we're at that moment, Sarah, for divorce this or that. So we are going to give you two options, and you have to divorce one or the other. We're gonna use some classic psychology terms, I guess. So you have two families to choose from, and we all know in reality you can't choose your family, but in this instance you're going to choose from two terrific choices. Option A is a completely avoidant family. spouse, kids, in-laws, your parents, cousins, everybody is super avoidant. Everything is rosy, peachy keen all day. And if anyone brings up a topic to discuss that could be like a little bit in disagreement with everybody else, you're ostracized. You're pushed out. You're put down. Not put down, but
You're just out. Yeah.
you're just out. You're just out because you can't disrupt. You can't disrupt
bottle it
the
up.
Whew.
peace.
Okay, the opposite
Bottle
of
it
what
up.
I've been talking about.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, so lots of good stuff for the therapist, I
Yeah.
guess. Option B, everybody wears their opinions on their sleeve. So it's super high conflict because every little thing, everybody is disagreeing with everybody else. Even if you're talking about the weather, we're going to disagree that it's cold. It might actually be hot. And it's just constant arguments and debates.
And I get to pick one of those.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And tell us why.
And you can go first.
Okay, I will go first. And then
Yes.
you guys will pick too.
Yeah, that's right.
I am going to pick the high conflict family, which is crazy for me because I'm pretty conflict averse. But I feel like my family growing up was more of that avoidant family, and I know how destructive and unhelpful that can be. So as exhausting and terrible as a high conflict all the time option feels, I'll just try that one out and see how it goes.
Wow, okay. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Right.
I would actually go down the same route. I'd pick the high conflict family because I believe in the benefits of therapy, and that's going to be my angle on it. And that, I would, get us all in to therapy and, hopefully through that process would be able to maybe become a better family together where we can be more tolerant and, understanding of each other.
Okay. Well,
Fantastic spin.
Yeah.
I was actually going to spin the avoidant option the same way.
No
Yeah.
way. Tell me how you're spinning this
Sorry.
one.
So I would pick the avoidant family. And look, I can't control my in-laws or my parents or anybody that doesn't believe in therapy, but I will sneak my kids out and take them. I will take them to a therapist to play therapy. I will take myself to therapy so I can spill my guts out, and I'll make new friends.
Yeah, because it's
To
all
have a new
confidential, I
support
guess,
system. Yeah, that's right. I don't have to tell anyone. I don't tell this avoidant family that I'm spilling my guts out about them. And then, I don't know, is my spouse still my spouse? It's a divorce show, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So I'm going to
Well,
deal
I
with
think we were
me
talking
and my
about
kids.
transitioning through that divorce
Yes.
with some grace there. And
That's
positive,
right.
yeah, so.
Yeah, I'll just extricate myself. So that's my answer.
All right.
All right.
Love it.
Well, thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Sam.
Thank you for having me.
I think this is one of our first episodes where we're really diving deep. Like, okay, therapy is a process. It's going to take a while. Got to get through stuff.
Yeah.
But where can our audience find you if they'd like to reach out to you?
Probably the easiest would be my website. It has all my contact information, and my website is just my name, sarahfrontiera.com. So that's sarahfrontiera.com.
Say that 12 times fast.
Yeah.
No, okay, anyway.
We're going to put it in the show notes.
Yeah,
anyway.
it'll be in the
There you
show
go. That's
notes.
the easiest.
All right, Sarah. Well, thanks again for joining us. This is another episode of Cover Your Assets. I am Joe.
And I'm Jade, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.